The night you soon won't forget, prom, the night to dress up with friends and celebrate in confidence and style. But after the dress, shoes, tux, and jewelry, it becomes costly. But our next guest is not allowing this to be an issue, giving the glam and providing the prom experience to those who may otherwise be unable to afford it. For more on this, let's welcome in studio founder and president of Giving the Glam, Maristella Rappo. So happy to have you with us. So Giving the Glam has been around since 2014. Last night was your last event of the year. 103 yes. kids for prom. I just went through this with my daughter. The shoes, the hair, everything costs so much money. So talk to us about what you're doing for these kids.
Yes, originally I'm from Brazil, then living in Europe for so many years, and I never came to America. I never realized how prom is huge in this country. It's almost like a wedding. Then working in the fashion industry in the past, I had a chance to meet the MECO coordinator. It's a program that is only based in Massachusetts. That is the inner city kids come to the suburbs to have a better education. And it was a small introduction that my daughter, Alexis Rappo, made it. And she's a soccer player. She was not a fashionista. And she said, Ma, could you help those participants, maybe, some of the students? And I said, well, I introduced myself to Miss Monique Marshall, and I said, look, I work in the fashion industry. I don't know what I can do, but I'll be happy to take one of your students for a fashion day, whatever. And 4 weeks later, she calls me and she says, well, I have this participant whose mother passed away, her father passed away, and she raised by a single mother. She could take your help for prom. And I say, prom? I assume all the dresses was ugly. I say, this is out of my fashion zone. But then I come to learn that was just a bad choices. It was not such a thing. They all can find the right fit for tuxedo and dresses. And this is how Give the Glam came alive in 2014, helped this young lady. I never knew how much I impacted her. And after I helped her, we did everything, hair, makeup, jewelry, and videography, photography.
So that was 2014. Yep. Fast forward now, you just had the prom. There's a lot that goes into it. How do the teens, how do they get the dresses, and what has been the reaction from these teens and their families?
It was a sense of belonging, joy. We work like with the B3 community service officers back in home in Massachusetts. They are the one that make the whole introduction, introduce me to the schools. We give it the sort of number, and the counselor will help, the kids, choose the kids that will benefit from my program. And doing this, like nowadays, is a lot of pressure. The kids that I help are kids that face financial challenge. Some need me more, some need me less, but they all face the financial challenge. We help kids that have intellectual needs. We have kids that live in shelter. We have kids that live in a rough area back in home. Then it's really hard, and I give them credit to not give up on education, because when you have such a rough background, the last thing you think about education, and for them to not give up on that, then is when I come in, give that reinforcement to them and say, you know what, you have a prom here.
And without you, they may not have been able to go to prom.
No, exactly.
And so, obviously, this is caught on. I know that you've been doing this for a while. What about the school? How is the reaction with the school and the administrators?
They shock.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think they realize the extent of Giving the Glam. We really prepare them for the red carpet. Then when they realize that everything is new, I don't take a donation dress. I raise a fund to buy everything new, the dress and the tuxedo, and all the makeup, the limo, everything we pay for it. They realize, say, oh my God, that is a real thing. And then it's how they are all excited about, and they all wanted to be part of it. But I'm a small little fish compared to other big nonprofit out there. Then there's so much I can do.
Yeah, well, what you're doing is so important, and I know that I'm sure a lot of the kids as well as the parents are so appreciative, because you're right, it is expensive. It's not just the dress, it's the limo, it's everything else, getting their hair done, and without you, they wouldn't be able to have this night that they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. Well, I think it's great. Thank you so much, Maristella Rappo. Thank you so much.
Having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Of course.